All right, are we good? Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat Live. We are back for the Women's Champions League semi-final second leg between FC Barcelona and Bayern Munich. Barcelona in the first leg took the lead early in the game, but ultimately Bayern, with some strong defensive showing, were able to hold firm and Ket scored to draw them level. So we come into this second leg, Harry, at all square. It does keep it very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. All to play for coming into the next 90 minutes. Of course, Barcelona have the home advantage and they are serial winners. But Bayern Munich did very, very well last week to keep themselves in the game. And now they've got a platform to build off and try and get to their first ever final. But it was a brilliant battle last week between two elite sides. Nothing to separate them. Drama and controversy involved, some big goals, some brilliant performances. So if we get anything close to the first leg, we're in for another brilliant 90 minutes from a neutral point of view. But yeah, it's very rare that a side come into a second leg against Barcelona with it all to play for. I mean, Real Madrid was 6-2 down on aggregate going into the second leg. So the fact that Bayern Munich are still in this tie and that it's all square is very impressive. If they can repeat a similar performance from the first leg, then they could be bang on the money to get through this evening.
Yeah, they were excellent. The Allianz Arena, that made a huge difference. How much more difficult will it be tonight at the Nou Camp?
Oh, very difficult. You know, Barcelona's record at the Nou Camp is ridiculously good. It's another, a massive crowd, especially at the newly built Nou Camp with the bigger attendance. But yeah, it's going to be difficult. We know that home crowd has a massive impact. And as I say, this Barcelona side at the Nou Camp have a ridiculously good record. And they're going to take some beating if Bayern Munich do want to get through. And I think that, yeah, it's very rare. I mean, it's never happened really that a side can turn up at the Nou Camp and turn over this Barcelona side. So Bayern Munich are looking to put themselves into new territory really on the European stage.
Indeed, Barcelona in the last 5 finals, looking to make it 6 in a row. Heartbreak last year though, and they'll be hoping to make up for that this time out.
Yeah, absolutely. That would hurt them a lot. 3 titles to their name, but you still want to win as many as possible. And every final you lose as a player is a disappointing one. So yeah, they'll want to right their wrongs from last year, go one step further, and that starts today. Get into the final for the 6th consecutive year, and go out and potentially claim that 4th title.
Indeed. Let's start by talking last week then, because for people who haven't watched the game and haven't watched my analysis, let's talk about how that played out. Barcelona, it wasn't vintage from Barcelona. They started well with the Esme Brooks ball into the box. Eva Payol scored the goal. Barcelona took the lead in that game, but they just weren't able to create chances and weren't able to test Momitovic enough to the extent that we usually expect them to be able to do.
Yeah, I was really surprised. They didn't kick on from that early goal. We see it time and time again that they get an early goal and they just dominate the tie from there on in. And they didn't really manage to do that. And I think that was a bit of a surprise. Mentioning that Real Madrid leg again in the quarterfinals, they were 3-0 up after 15 minutes, and that put the tie beyond doubt. But Bayern Munich, of course, defended well. But yeah, Barcelona, they failed to create chances. They failed to get shots on target. And as you say, forced Momitovic into some decent saves. So that will be frustrating. They just looked a bit stagnant at times in the game, and I think they'll be disappointed they didn't manage to utilise that opening goal, and the fact they took an early lead, they didn't then manage to go and get a couple more goals. So that they've got to review that today. But yeah, they did struggle to find a way through Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I mean, Bayern were fantastic. They remained very narrow, very compact. They stopped Barcelona being able to create in central areas, being able to get into goal-scoring positions in central areas. They were very happy to allow Barcelona's wingers to have a little bit more space and freedom out wide. And that is probably something Barcelona will look to exploit more. I mean, we saw Brugge have a lot of success, but Hansen really struggled up against Franziska Ket. Ket suspended for this leg, though. That's surely going to have a big impact.
Yeah, it's a big blow for Bayern Munich. I thought she was the best player on the pitch until she got sent off in the first leg, and that is a massive miss for the German side. And I think that if you are Caroline Graham Hansen, you're going to fancy yourself today to try and get involved in a bit more in the game. Ket had her in her back pocket, and Hansen just couldn't have the impact that she wanted to do so. So definitely a new test for Graham Hansen today. I think one that she will enjoy more, and she'll be hoping that she can get into the game and have an impact on the final outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's dive into the lineups ahead of this game. We're at the Nou Camp in Barcelona, so let's start with the Barcelona side. It's a 4-3-3 today for Pere Romero's Barcelona. In goal, Catalina Cole keeps her place between the sticks, and it's the same back four with Battier, Paredes, Leon and Esme Brugts. In midfield three, Sara Yorde replaces Vicky Lopez alongside Patrick Gallardo and Alexia Putellas. Aitana Bonmati does make the bench, not fit to start though. On one wing, it's Caroline Graham-Hansen. On the other, Sawa Paraluelo is chosen to start ahead of Claudia Pina. And through the middle, it's Eva Payor. Let's start by talking about those changes then. In wide areas, Paraluelo coming into the side. Do we expect to see Barcelona trying to stretch Bayern even more then with two wingers who like to hold the width?
Yeah, very much so. They're going to try and get wide and be direct. And I think that's the best way to go about it today. I thought that Pina was quite quiet because she wants to come inside, but just wasn't getting the joy because of how packed out it was in central areas for Bayern Munich. So I think bringing Paraluelo into this game is going to sit on that touchline and just look to try and pull the Bayern fullbacks away. If they can do that, then it's going to leave space for the midfield magicians to use and have a bit more of an impact on the game. So I think that the change of Paraluelo, even if she doesn't come in and directly contribute, it's going to facilitate the players in central areas of Barcelona to hopefully have a bit more room to really show their class.
Yeah, my only intrigue with it is how important Claudia Pina is in terms of the role that she fills. While she didn't shine, the role that she fills in terms of being able to come inside and allow Esme Bruggs to overlap, you're not going to see the same from Salma Paraluelo. So will we see less involvement in attacking areas for Esme Bruggs? Quite possibly. I imagine, they'll try and stretch Bayern quite effectively to create space in central areas, but then they're taking out Vicky Lopez, who thrives in those kind of pockets. Sara Yorde is still a top player, but I feel it's a bit of an odd change, if I'm honest. I think that if you're going to I wouldn't take out both Pina and Lopez. If you're going to take out Pina and bring in Paraluelo, maybe you're facilitating a bit more space for Lopez. If you're going to take out Lopez and bring in Sara Yorde, then that's much more well suited to what they did last week with Pina coming inside and Bruggs overlapping. So I'm a little bit intrigued to see how that is going to work out. Back forward saying the same, that makes a lot of sense. Sara Yorde, the only other change, we discussed that one there. So let's take a look at the Bayern side then. 4-2-3-1 for Bayern Munich, only one change from the starting 11 last week, and that is forced through suspension. In goal, it's Mahmut Zovic. A back four of Gwyn, Vigosdotte, Gilles, and Pedersen coming into the side, or Balesaga. In the midfield pivot, it's Stanway alongside Amani, with Tanakawa in the 10. On one wing, it's Dortmund. On the other, Clara Buell. And leading the line, it's Pernilla Harder. So we're likely going to see a very similar shape for Bayern in this game, using that 4-5-1, trying to pack out the central areas. Obviously, though, the big changes, Balesaga coming in at left back. What impact's that going to have on Bayern's shape?
It's a big blow. I think that it's one of those where Ket was very, very good at getting out and defending well, but also being aggressive going forward. So it's going to shift how they're going to do that. I think that Balesaga, she can play left back, or as well as centre half. So she's coming in, and I think that she will be much narrower and will not bomb on like Ket would. So it's definitely gonna change the way they look at it. It should free up Giulia Gwyn to get forwards, which can be viewed as a positive because we know how good Gwyn can be as an attacking fullback. But I think that just on because of how good Ket was in that first leg, I think that it's a shame no matter what, the fact that obviously she can't be involved because she got sent off later in the game. But yeah, it's definitely going to see that shift, and I'll be very intrigued to see how they get on with a bit more of an attacking focus on the right-hand side rather than on the left.
You'd think they would be using a back three in possession, and that'll be their rest defence today, which is going to be very interesting to see how that works. Gwyn was still getting forwards, to be fair, but they were often sending both fullbacks forwards, and their midfield was a lot deeper. Part of me wonders today whether Stanway or Amani will be giving a little bit more license to get forwards if that is going to be a back three in possession. So that'll be intriguing for me. But I think the biggest thing is that it's going to give Caroline Graham-Hansen a lot more joy.
Yeah.
Balesaga is not going to keep up with her in the same way that Ket was. I think that if Hansen can use her ability to cut inside, go outside, the unpredictability, there's going to be more opportunity today. There's going to be more space to work with. And that's where I think we'll see a little bit more upside for Caroline Graham-Hansen. A rapid goalpost from the screen says, what are the chances Bonmati actually plays today? Got to be low. I'm not sure. I think whatever the score, I think we'll see her. Because if Barcelona are comfortable, they'll want to bring her on for that sort of vanity, that showing off the fact they've got her. And if they're not, then they're going to bring her on to win the game. I'm a little surprised she didn't start. I was half expecting the Barcelona would just throw her in, and then obviously they'd have her starting because they're in this drawing position. But they backed the players that played last week and the players they're bringing into the starting 11 this week to get the job done. The squad is good enough to win this game, and Bonmati is there if they do need her.
Yeah, it's exactly that. I think that it's one of those where having her back is a massive boost. It will depend on... I think that the fact this obviously could go to extra time changes it slightly, and maybe that's why she doesn't start, because they're viewing it as, they'd like to have her in the game, but if she started and then it went to extra time, suddenly she's looking at having to... You're either bringing her off in the big moments, or she's having to play 120 minutes, which is not ideal. So I think it's a mix of trying to balance her minutes and not rush her back, but also wanting to rush her back and play her because it's a Champions League semi-final. It's a very difficult one to balance, but the fact she's on the bench, she will play some part today. And when Bonmati plays a part in a football match, usually she has a big say and her team go on to win it. So it's a big boost for Barcelona. It'll be very interesting to see when she gets introduced and what state the game is at that point in time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that could be very interesting. I guess the flip side argument is if she starts, Barcelona should be winning, and then they can bring her off. But yeah, she should be able to. Barca should be in a position where they're comfortable and they can bring her on and get through. And it's more of a showing off the fact they can sub her on. But she is there if they need someone to come on and make the difference. But players then making their way out of the tunnel. The referee today, Stephanie Frappart. Fantastic to see. A strong referee with such credentials in this kind of game. I think the referee yesterday looked a little bit out of her depth in the first half, particularly. But Stephanie Frappart has been there and done it before. She won't be fazed by this occasion. Both sets of players then. Barcelona and Bayern Munich heading out of the tunnel. So let's dive into our scoreline predictions. If you're watching on the show, let us know your prediction in the live chat. We'll go through all of those ahead of kickoff. We're going to start here in the studio. And as always, Harry, you can get us kicked off. Barcelona versus Bayern Munich. A 1-1 draw in the first leg. Who's taking it in the second leg and getting to the Champions League final?
It's a very difficult one to call. I think it will be another close 90 minutes between them, but I'm going to back Barcelona to use the home crowd, use this home advantage in the second leg to get back into the final. I will go for Barcelona 2, Bayern Munich 1. So Barcelona going through 3-2 on aggregate. I will say Bayern to open the scoring early through Pernilla Harder, a dream start for the German side, but I think that Barcelona will work their way back into the game in the second half. I will go for a Puyol goal to level the scores back up, and then I'm going to go for Bonmati off the bench to find the winner and to put Barcelona into the Champions League final. But another really competitive tie expected between the two sides. I just think Barcelona, with the quality, are going to edge it.
Yeah, fair enough. I'd love to see it be really close. I would. I think Bayern were fantastic in the first leg, but I think with Ket not in the side today, and I think with Bonmati returning to the bench, they've just got the players to make the difference. Unfortunately, I want it to be really tight. I want to say, Bayern Munich are going to take it all the way, maybe even get a result. But I think Barcelona have got the quality. So I'm going to say 3-1 on the day and a 4-2 win on aggregate. I think it will be still a very enjoyable game of football. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of those Barcelona goals came late on. So I'm going to say Barcelona to take the lead through Paraluelo, actually. I think they could find some space in behind there. And she'll take that opportunity if she gets in behind. I then think it'll be a Bayern goal around the 56th minute. Pernilla Harder, I'll predict a score. And then I think late on, Eva Puyol in like the 86th. And then Aitana Bonmati in the 89th. And it looks a lot more comprehensive than perhaps the game actually was.
Yeah, I think that is... that's a big possibility. I do think that it will be very difficult for Bayern to hold on for a ridiculous, for the whole 90 minutes and then potentially going into extra time. It's a big ask, and they did fantastically to do it last week. But yeah, to do it across 2 legs against Barcelona would be a very mean feat.
Absolutely. Rabbit Goalpost going 2-2 prediction. Barca to win on pens. After all that, Bayern still don't pull it off. Zato saying 4-0 Barcelona. So very different prediction there. Still very possible saying a Sao Paulo break, 2 assists, and a Puyol hat-trick then one of the defenders to score from a corner. Likely Irene Paredes there. But yeah, 150 votes in the polling chat. 77% think Barcelona will reach the final. 23% backing the upset, backing Bayern to win this game. And that is going to be... It's going to be interesting. Who can pull it off? Will Barcelona reach a 6th consecutive final and look to avenge the defeat in last year's final? Or will it be Bayern Munich who can pull off an incredible result? I can't wait. I love the Champions League.
Yeah.
This was a great game last week. Hopefully, this will continue in a similar vein. Yesterday was brilliant. Hopefully, this game is just as good.
Yeah, we've seen drama. We've had everything from the Champions League so far, especially in the semi-final stages. So yeah, hopefully it'll be another brilliant 90 minutes of action. And we just want to see two elite sides go head to head. We want, if both sides deliver today, if both sides bring their A game, it's going to be a fantastic matchup once again. So if that is the case, then yeah, this could be a very, very special 90 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. But just can't wait to see how this game's going to play out. Will Barcelona have the tactical solutions they didn't have in the first leg? Can they figure out ways to find that space and break through Bayern with more consistency? Can Bayern be as disciplined as they were in the first leg? What is the impact of Balenciaga coming into this kind of game, playing in that wide position? That's what's going to be really important. But Bayern Munich certainly got that togetherness in the huddle involving the substitute bench as well. Will they have that kind of connection on the pitch? Can they stop Barcelona reaching a 6th consecutive final? I can't wait to find out. But both sets of players taking to the field now then as we prepare to get underway here at the new camp. Frappart, the woman in the middle today. So hopefully we don't see any more controversial decisions and we can just enjoy a game of football for what it is. But it will be Barcelona to get us underway. Eva Payot, the Pole in the middle, to get us underway. Waits for the referee's whistle. And now knocks it back. We're underway here at the new camp. It's Barcelona taking on Bayern Munich in the Women's Champions League semi-final second leg. The score tied on aggregate. Can Barcelona find a way at home? Will Bayern pull off a magnificent upset? Here's Barcelona in possession early on. Lyonnes. Now to Patrick Gallardo. Lyonnes. Across to Paredes and back to Mappy Lyonnes. Looking down the line. I'm surveying her options. Now through to Patrick Gallardo. Lyonnes. Gallardo. Lyonnes again. These two just exchanging, trying to find a way through. Bayern similarly defensive as they were in the first leg. Lyonnes back to Paredes. Now Gallardo. Now they move to the right-hand side. Battier holding the width nicely. Finds Hansen on the touchline. And Hansen now can carry forward. She's got space to put the ball in towards the back post. And it's just out of reach of Paraluelo. And already there, Barcelona threatening from that Hansen delivery a minute into the game.
Yeah, exactly what we're talking about. Where the threat and where the liability is for Bayern Munich today. Balenciaga just steps off her massively. And I'm not really sure why. Because she's got the cover of Vigersdottir who can follow the runner. So I'm really not sure why she's just stood off Graham Hansen there and allowed her to put the ball in.
Just one player you don't want to give loads of space to swing across in.
Yeah.
It's Caroline Graham Hansen, isn't it? So I think you've got to get tighter there.
If you get tight and she beats you, then fair enough, because that's a good bit of skill, good bit of skill for her to get past you. But
also then she's crossing her from a position where your defence can drop into the box,
yeah,
rather than putting it into that into that corridor really between the defence and the goalkeeper. Hansen now wants to take on Balenciaga, and there's a clear targeting here. Hansen gets around her with ease. Now looks to square the ball. It's blocked and it's into possession of Marmitovic. But already Barcelona are finding joy down the right-hand side that they just weren't finding last week.
Yeah, big problem for Bayern. They're going to have to find a way to try and deal with that, because Graham Hansen is going to beat Balenciaga every single time.
Yeah, Bayern Munich under pressure again here. Barca coming forwards. Is Marmitovic, by the way, wearing a non-Bayern shirt in goal? It looks like they've just had to find a shirt because it doesn't appear to have the Bayern badge on it. Switch to the right-hand side. Balenciaga will get up. It's certainly not part of that kit.
No, it's got a name on the back, but yeah, it looked like it should be like a generic.
Now Battier. Gallardo. Now Hansen again. Delivers it in there, and it's cleared away well by Vigersdottir. But yeah, certainly not what you'd expect in a Champions League semi-final.
Yeah, but I'm not really, because it's meant to be an all-orange goalkeeper kit, and I can't really understand why she's not allowed to wear the all-orange kit.
Intriguing. Watchalong then, the man on the touchline for Bayern today, taking the responsibility of Jose Barcola, as obviously he will be somewhere in the stands. Harder competing for this ball down the line. It does come off the day, and it will be a Barcelona throw-in.
Yeah, that is a big thing that we haven't mentioned. Obviously, with Barcola not being on the touchline because of his very silly and poor from Barcola to get sent off last week to lose his head, and it has an impact. Your manager's not there. He can't give you the direct instructions and be upright on the touchline the way you need him to be.
Here's Hansen inside now. Bounced back to Battier, Paredes, Lyonnes. Now Gallardo, Serriordi. Can't quite find the space to progress the ball. Battier, Gallardo. Here's Putellas on the edge. And it's beautiful football. Paraluelo's pass is intercepted. Now Gallardo wide into Hansen, who wants to take on Balenciaga again. Looks to cut it back to the edge of the box, but Linda Dorman on hand to win back possession. And now she'll play in harder. Harder up against Paredes. Barca getting back quicker than Bayern can get players forward. A switch to play, those brilliant from Pernilla Harder. Here's Clara Build. Wants to take on Battier, driving forwards. And the shot charged down by Ona Battier. But a nice counter-attacking move from Bayern Munich, and they keep the ball high up the pitch. Stanway. Now Clara Buell winning a throw-in for Bayern.
And that's where the threat is. Barcelona camping themselves very high in the Bayern Munich half, leaving a one-on-one between Harder and Paredes. That's a big risk. And they've got to be careful that at times like that it doesn't get exploited, but they did very well to get back in numbers and to smother the chance.
That's a great move forwards. They moved the ball so quickly from back to front. And Bayern just couldn't quite put it together in the final third. Ball down the line then, looking for the run of Tanikawa. Doesn't quite come off.
Yeah, but positive from Bayern. Exactly what they need to do. They're going to be defensive, of course. They're going to sit deep for the majority of the game today. But when they get opportunities, they've got to get forward. They've got to get out the pitch. Because not only does it cause a threat and they could potentially score themselves, but it just takes the pressure off.
Yeah. Here is Catalina Cole. Knocking it out forwards, but it falls to Georgia Stanway, and they're going to play into space here. Buell now with Balenciaga overlapping. Buell makes the run. If she can play the ball through, she can't. Plays it into Tanakawa. Bounce back to Georgia Stanway. Stanway now on the edge. Gives it wide into Balenciaga. Buell. Now Armani. Needs someone to drop out of the front line there. Exchanges with Stanway. Wide now with Balenciaga. Tanikawa. Touches heavy, but she squeezes it back to Armani. And they go all the way back now to Gilles. Stanway. Through the lines. Buell in the pocket. Can't quite find a teammate. And Barcelona can use it now. Down the right-hand side. Here's Hansen. Up against Gilles. And that's really good defending from Vanessa Gilles.
Yeah.
Stands her up. Makes a challenge.
Yeah. Really smart from Gilles. Just stops her going forwards, even if that's a side. Obviously, she does well to make the challenge and put out for a throw, but even if that pass goes backwards or sideways, it just lets Bayern Munich get back in. Does well just to halt the progress of Hansen.
Indeed. Now here is Esme Brooks. So Brooks looks to be inverting today. That's perhaps something obviously we didn't see last week with Paraluelo wanting to hold the width though. Brooks is going to hold a very different role in this team, inverting into the midfield. Now back to Paredes. Here is Lyonnes. Brooks will carry in this central position. Putellas, though, dispossessed. Oh, Serriordi, sorry, but she does win it back. And she'll drive the ball forwards brilliantly. Good tackle from Linda Dorman. And into the gloves of Marmutovic.
Yeah, invited interception there from Dorman, and Bayern Munich are just trying to get through these early encounters unscathed. Of course, they conceded early last week, and we know you can't afford to fall behind really against against Barcelona. They were right in the first leg, but I think you concede early at the new camp and you're banging trouble.
Yeah, now Brooks holding the width, has Paraluelo down the line and finds Sama Paraluelo. And she'll lift the ball in there looking for the back post. Hansen gets it under her control. Battier overlapping, and Hansen will try and find Ona Battier, who does keep it in the field of play, but Payor knocking it wide, and that was just a little bit messy from Bayern Munich. A bit of a miscommunication there. Gilles tried to see it out of play. Wasn't enough on that ball. And Battier managed to keep it in touch and almost very dangerous there. for Barcelona.
Yeah, Bayern just felt too comfortable to try and let it run out of play, which was you can try and let a ball out of play as long as you're shielding it, but no one was. And Battier did brilliantly to keep it on the field of play, and Puyol firing wide, but a half chance there for Barcelona and a let off for Bayern Munich.
Last week we saw Barca trying to overload the right-hand side in order to create space on the left. Now it very much feels like they're trying to overload the left to create that 1v1 situation. So they're going to get Hansen and Battier as well into those positions to be able to combine and really hurt Bayern Munich. Here's Paredes. Now Patrick Gallardo. Let's go look to play it in behind, searching for Hansen. That run all the way through to Marmutovic. Now he's going to take a bit of the pace out of this game and just delay. And does now look to clip it out to the left-hand side. Balesaga. Looking for Tanikawa, but that ambitious ball is won by Barcelona. And it's not dealt with in the box. And Paralluelo poking just past the post there. And Bayern riding their luck a little bit early on here.
Yeah, just don't deal with the ball into the box. And again, it's just picked off by Gallardo. It's a brilliant header, and Vigas-Dotti just does not deal with the bouncing ball.
Not assertive enough at all with that.
Not really sure what she's tried to do there. Should have just headed it out away.
Here's Dorman. She's come inside with the ball now. Looks to lift it over the top. Searching for the runner Tanikawa. Just can't quite pick out her teammate. It goes out of play and it will be a Barcelona throw-in. It's not been a terrible start from Bayern. They haven't conceded, but they have just given up a couple big opportunities in the box now. Just through mistakes. They've got to just calm down a little in this game. Putellas. Lovely Travella pass to the right-hand side. Hansen with space to work with. Drills it low into the box. And Tanikawa will make the interception. One high by Battier. Now Hansen ball in the box. It's blocked away. And that will be a Barcelona corner for the first time today.
Yeah. Really strong start by the home side. Looking to use the home advantage and get an early goal. And Bayern Munich have got away with a couple. And we know the threat that Barcelona pose from corners. Mainly Irene Paredes, who is making her way into the box now.
Barcelona 8 touches in the opposition box in the first 10 minutes.
Wow.
Hansen exchanges with Lyonnes. Now looks to lift into the box. It's blocked. It will be another corner. Barcelona will look to try and find an opportunity once again. Lyonnes will take this one. And we know what a threat they can pose from corners, particularly with Irene Paredes. Lyonnes puts it in towards the back post, and it's Gilles who gets up to it. Really good header, and she was caught in there as well. Not sure who in a Barcelona shirt caught her there, but one of the players catch her on the top of the foot. That will be a Bayern Munich free kick.
Yes, a great header. While being fouled, to still win the header is very impressive from Vanessa Gilles.
Vigas-Dotti trying to go down the line, but just not the space for Bayern Munich to pull off that pass.
They can't get out at the moment.
No.
And that will be a bit of a concern.
That's important for Barcelona, though, because I think last week, particularly when we look back at the goal they conceded, it was way too casual.
Yeah.
Out of possession, where it does seem to be a little bit more disciplined. Gwyn into Dorman. But equally, you look at this first 10 minutes and already they've had a one-on-one against Paredes that, they almost turn into a goal-scoring opportunity. So when they are finding those moments to get through the Barcelona press, they do pack a lot of danger.
Yeah.
Balesaga into Buell, tries to shift it inside. That, though, too casual. Does lose it, but regains it well. Stanway down the line to Clara Buell. Can't quite keep it in touch. Battier throwing his short to Patrick Gallardo. And now Mappy Lyonnes. Gallardo. Carrying the ball forwards well. Now out to the right-hand side, and it's Hansen. Wants to take on Balesaga. Ball floated in towards the back post, and Paralluelo touches it home. There were warning signs there for Bayern Munich. They couldn't give Caroline Graham Hansen that kind of space. She kept delivering balls in, searching for the back post. And it has now paid off. Barcelona lead in this game. Hansen with the cross to the back post. And Paralluelo fires home emphatically. Barcelona 1, Bayern Munich 0.
It's been coming. It's really been coming for Barcelona. Been all over Bayern Munich in the first 13 minutes. And they've had chances already. And again, it's a brilliant ball in from Graham Hansen. It's too easy for Bayern Munich to just let this fly across their own penalty area. Someone has got to get a touch on it. Balasaga gives Graham Hansen too much space and it bypasses all three defenders, and Paralluelo's on hand to fire home at the back post. But someone in a Bayern shirt has got to get in front of that and clear it away. Bounces across their own box, and Paralluelo does really well to finish it off at the far post, and a big goal for Barcelona.
Balasaga's got to get a lot tighter.
Yeah.
It's exactly what we said may happen with her in that position rather than Kat. Just isn't defending that wide space as well as she should be. Way too easy so far for Caroline Graham Hansen, who's having a really, really strong game.
Yeah.
Too much space being afforded to her, and she's just got all that time to put crosses in. And now Barcelona looking to play out. Brooks can't quite keep it under her control as Dorman wins it back. And now Gilles, Stanway knocks it back to Viggers-Dottir. Into Georgia Stanway, who's going to look to go in behind. That's a fantastic ball from Stanway. If Buell can get there, and she will. Here's Clara Buell in the Barca box. It's blocked by Battier. Corner now for Bayern Munich. That's a lot more positive from Bayern.
Yeah, brilliant pass from Stanway. And Buell does well to bring it down. Try to take on Battier. Good defending, though, from Ona Battier to put it out for a corner. But yeah, more positive from Bayern. Exactly what they need to do. Try and respond as quickly as possible. Or at least don't let Barcelona, increase their lead.
Indeed. Quarter of an hour in then. Can Bayern draw level immediately? Ball towards the back post. It's headed in the direction of the goal, but it's well over the bar from Pernilla Harder.
Yeah, not quite the header she was looking for. Just got under it and loops it over. Got to try and use set pieces and things like that in this game, Bayern Munich. Try and get themselves back into the game, but yeah, the prior aim now has to be to make sure that Barcelona don't score again.
Yeah, absolutely. Good finish from Paralluelo. Balasaga tighter now to Hansen, makes the tackle. Out for a Barcelona throw-in. But yeah, just criminal from Balasaga.
Yeah.
I think that has to be where the fault lies. Not much Gwyn can do, or anyone in the box can do there. You don't want to drop off that deep. Battier. Now Gallardo. Battier. Now Hansen. Battier. And it's won back well by Harder. And Armani slots through Harder. And it's 3-on-1 here for Bayern Munich. Options to the left and right. Harder tees up Dorman. Has to score. Linda Dorman and scores. Bayern Munich draw level. A fantastic counter-attack. Barcelona way too open at the back. And Bayern pull off a fantastic move. And Linda Dorman poking it home. Way too easy. Way too easy for Bayern Munich. Harder turns the ball over. Armani slots her through. And it's a 3-on-1 immediately. Way too much space. Options to the left and right. She tees up Dorman. And Dorman with a really tidy finish. It's a good tackle from Harder. Paredes committing the foul on Harder, if anything. Harder breaks away. Lyonnes comes across, but has too many players for Lyonnes to deal with by herself. Dorman had to score and does so. Brilliant finish. I'd argue Katarina Cole should do better, though.
Yeah. Probably should.
It's rooted.
Yeah. Really good, though. Brilliant response from Bayern Munich, and Dorman does well to just find the bottom corner. But an instant response, exactly what we said they needed to do. A massive goal from Dorman. But for Barcelona, it's really poor. You've just got the goal to put yourself ahead in the tie. And you're still too open, too aggressive. And Bayern Munich are right back in it.
Yeah, Paredes just gets caught on the ball. And in that position, there's just no way that they're going to be able to recover and make up for the fact.
Yeah.
And Leon there was just so isolated, nothing she could do. With 3 players around her, 1 on the ball, and 2 making runs in different directions. How on earth can Mappa Leon do anything there? I think she did her absolute best to make life difficult for Linda Dormant.
Yeah.
But Dormant poked it home brilliantly, and we're back level in this tie. Putellas, Leon, down the line. Here's Paralluelo. Chops back. Gwyn sticks with her well. Back into Paralluelo. Plays it inside looking for Brooks. Brooks is going to get there. Can take game. It's blocked. A chance for Barcelona at Putellas. Lifts it over the bar. Really should score there, Alexia Putellas.
Yeah, another let off for Bayern Munich. They don't deal with it. It's a brilliant block from Vigers-Dottir to deny Brooks, who's made the inverted run. Brilliant block. And then the clearance from Gilles is scooped up in the wrong direction and allows Putellas to get there. She tries to just lift it over Marmatovic, but onto the roof of the net from that close range. But should have, probably just put her foot through it and smashed it past her rather than try and dink it over her head.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Barcelona back in possession and looking to get back into this game. They were so dominant in the first 15 minutes, first quarter of an hour, but so quickly, when you play this way, space can open up in behind and teams can take advantage of it. Paredes, I don't know if it's slow on the ball again there, almost gets caught. Does squeeze it to Battier. Hanson's pass is cut out by Armani, and that is going to be a Bayern Munich throw-in.
But also, what it's done is it's now the Bayern Munich can just reset and go back to what their game plan was from kickoff. You know, at 1-0, that game plan would have to change because they'd need to get a goal. But now they can just go right. You know, it's the same objective, same game plan that they would have had from the first minute.
Yeah,
it's an important goal, very important. They responded immediately. I mean, of course, Barcelona have got plenty of opportunities and probably will find. We'll probably find another goal in this game, but
Gallardo switches the play and Paralluelo isolated on this left-hand side. Dorman goes out and narrows the angle. Now Leon. He's got a bit of time to put this ball into the box. It's a great delivery. Payor can't get there. And it doesn't quite fall for Sarayorde as Armani lashes it clear. Harder onto the loose ball. Paredes comes across and tries to commit the foul there. And Harder now trying to play it quickly, but it has left the field of play. But Irene Paredes is all over the place.
Yeah.
She goes there to foul Harder rather than trying to actually win the ball.
Yeah. Harder's very unlucky. She doesn't keep that on. It was a very tight one. And if she does keep that on and knock it round her, then suddenly, it's 2 Barcelona, it's 2 Bayern forwards running at Mappa Leon again.
I mean, yeah, she did well to keep it on the field to almost keep it on the field of play, considering she was being pulled off the pitch by Paredes. Paralluelo. 1v1 up against Dorman. Dorman dives in. Paralluelo darts past her. Ball into the box. Payor can't quite turn it home. It's still in the area. Putellas on target. And Barcelona retake the lead in this game. Alexia Putellas finds the ball in an absolute mess in the penalty area. Bayern don't deal with the cross in. And Putellas tucks it home. Barcelona 2, Bayern Munich 1. Really poor in the box there from Bayern.
Oh, what a dramatic start to this second leg. But yeah, once again, it's a bouncing ball in their own box for Bayern Munich. It's been a couple of those now. So Vanessa Gilles, again, who does not deal with it. She had a miss-hit clearance that gave it to Putellas a minute ago. Had another one where she chested it down and it nearly fell for Sarayorde. And then this one, I mean, she's on her knees in the penalty area. An absolute mess from Bayern Munich. And Putellas can just roll in and slots it brilliantly into the bottom corner through the bodies, and Bayern Munich have got work to do once again, but it's really poor. They don't deal with it. Gilles falls over and it's bouncing around, and yeah, the clearance not convincing enough from Vanessa Gilles, just straight into the path of Putellas.
Yep, Dorman gives the space there for Paralluelo to put the ball in. No one deals with it. Putellas fires through a crowd of bodies. Marmitovic doesn't see it till it's too late. And Barcelona retake the lead.
What, 22 minutes gone, 3 goals already. What a start.
Now it's with Paredes, Battier. Sarayorde, Gallardo. And now Putellas. Leon. Back to Putellas. Gallardo. Putellas. Wide with Bruggs again. Now Paraluelo. Plays it inside to Gallardo. Leon. Here's Putellas. Lovely drop of the shoulder there to push forwards with the ball. Putellas again now. Tries to go down the line. Tanikawa cuts out the pass. Can only poke it as far as Putellas, though. He's had a really good start to this game. Alexia Putellas. Back to the left-hand side with Bruggs. Bruggs lifts it into the box. A header for Paraluelo. Can't quite meet it. Hansen now takes aim. And no one could block it for Bayern, but it's just wide of the post.
Yeah, again, the ball from Paraluelo was making its own way out of the box, and it's Bayern Munich bodies who actually put it back towards Graham Hansen, and she fires across goal well, but narrowly past the far post.
They're just panicking, Bayern. Every time the ball's in the box, they're panicking.
They've really got to shore up.
We didn't see this last weekend.
Not at all. They've got to shore up. If not, Barcelona are going to put this game out of sight pretty quickly.
Yeah. I think Barcola would be furious if he's on the touchline. Tanikawa. Now harder. Holds the ball up well. It's just thrown on the floor there by Mappé Leon. And that is going to be a free kick. But yeah, I mean, the only joy that Bayern are having at the moment is when they get forwards. Barcelona's centre-halves just... They either let players go or they foul them. And if Bayern can keep finding harder in those kind of positions and keep putting the Bayern centre-halves under pressure, they're going to get booked or sent off eventually.
Yeah.
Direct pass here, trying to switch the play. Batte brings it down. Pressure from Dorman forces the pass out, and it falls now to Balesaga. Back to Dorman. It's been a live wire early on here. Linda Dorman now to Tanikawa. Stanway can take aim from range. Georgia Stanway just wide. Looking to pull off a brilliant strike in this semi-final.
Yeah, caught it nicely. Stanway, Bayern Munich worked it well across to the centre of the pitch. And yeah, Stanway caught it nicely. Had Catalina Cole scrambling across her goal. But just past the post. An electric start to this game, though.
Yeah, indeed. Batte very composed there, but actually almost a little bit too casual. Leon into Battier. There's space on this right-hand side again for Barcelona. Battier carries forward. Hansen drops to receive. Now back inside to Gallardo. Gallardo carries the ball forward. Steriordi. Hansen. Here's Gallardo. Tries to slip it through the lines, but Balesaga wins it back. Now Stanway. And there's a foul in there on Stanway. And, well, Barcelona aren't happy about it, but it will be a free kick.
Yeah, Bayern just need to take the time and pace out of the game. So Bayern Munich just need to take the time and pace out of the game. Just, 26 minutes gone now. Even if they can just get a couple of minutes without a Barcelona chance, just need to take the pressure off themselves. Doesn't help that Barcelona look like scoring every time they come forwards.
Tanikawa. Into Balesaga. Down the line looking for harder. And it is one back by Barcelona and knocked all the way back to Katina Cole. Mappé Leon. Passed out to the left-hand side, and it's Paraluelo. Brutz. Leon. Now Patri Gallardo. Carrying the ball forwards, looks to the right-hand side, and knocks it into Hansen. Hansen goes down the wing. Balesaga comes across and wins it. It's cleared into Armani, and that's a huge save from Marmitovic. Cleared into Armani. Fell wonderfully for Paraluelo. Marmitovic, though, does well. Just been a mess at the back for Bayern.
It's a great save, but as you say, it's carnage every time the ball gets into that Bayern Munich penalty area. It's an absolute... It's just chaos.
Hansen tries to cross it in, blocked by Balesaga. Corner for Barcelona.
Here we go. And another look once again. Buell just looks to hook it clear, smash it straight into her teammate.
Also, Brooks, sorry, I thought it was Barcelona in there. But Esme Brooks firing on target. Great save from Tomic.
Yeah. Even the clearance, though, following the save, from Gilles, went directly up in the air.
I think that's where we're seeing the biggest difference, I guess, in home or away, sort of the home advantage aspect. Bayern was so assured of themselves, so defensively strong, so well organised at the Allianz, but it does just feel maybe that the pressure of the occasion mixed with the away support is just mixed with the home support is just putting Bayern in a difficult position. Leon lifts it in there, nodded on towards the back post. Armani clears only as far as Gallardo. It's blocked. Charged down well. Hansen runs into Battier, who squeezes it back now to Leon. Leon down the line. Here's Payor, who's brought down. Free kick in a good position here for Barcelona, as Payor was clipped.
Yeah, clumsy from Stanway. Just rushes out and catches Payor, and Stanway is also showing a yellow card for that challenge. But yeah, just a rash one from Stanway. But again, it all comes because the clearance from Amade falls straight to the Barcelona player on the edge, and then it's blocked and it's messy again. They just can't clear their lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, very clumsy from Georgia Stanway.
Just so late with the challenge.
It's that just drags her leg and just completely takes Payor's feet from out underneath her. Another good chance of Barcelona. I mean, Bayern Munich getting to half time at only 2-1, it would be something. Because it's just been an onslaught of chance after chance.
Leon and Hansen over this then.
And again, the aerial threats in the area for Barcelona.
Who can they pick out in the box? Leon puts at the front post and blocked by Linda Dorman. Now, well, that from Hansen is rather bizarre. And did Payor... I thought Payor touched up with the hand before it got off the field of play. But we'll get away with it. Let's take a look back at that second goal. An absolute mess. Just fell to Putin. I think it touched two players after the fact. Just bobbles its way through. Putin's shot was actually quite central. It's a touch, I think, that take it away from Tomic.
It's even the fact that before it gets it, the clearance from Gilles, it just takes a nick off the boot from Graham Hansen, which puts it perfectly into the path of Putin to hit first time. Without that, it could get caught under or something. Just, it fell perfectly for Putin to just run onto and pass goalwards.
Battier, Gallardo. Now Paredes, Leon, Gallardo, and into Ona Battier. Hansen, Gallardo, now Paredes, Gallardo, Hansen, ball towards the back post. Paraluelo touch it down. Esme Brooks. It's charged down, it's blocked, and it's cleared away. And now Battier. Gallardo. Hansen cuts it back. It falls now for Leon, who takes aim. It's wide of the mark.
Again, Barcelona causing Bayern all kinds of problems, just putting pressure on the penalty area. And again, it's not convincing from Bayern at all. People running around, throwing themselves at the ball. It doesn't seem to be no method to the defending at the moment. It's just backs against the wall, just throw everything at anything and hope it doesn't go in.
Balasaga seems to have been a foul in there. Sorry, Orde caught by Armani.
Yeah, just a little bit late there from the Bayern midfielder. Take the free kick short anyway.
Hansen delivers in. It's cleared away well. Balls now to Lyonnes. Leon into Gallardo. Out towards the left-hand side. And now Paraluelo. Brooks. Leon. Gallardo. Knocks it wide for Paraluelo. Ball in towards the back post. A chance for Hansen. And somehow she's headed that one up and over the bar.
It should be 3-1. Massive chance. It was Hansen who set up Paraluelo for the first one. And Paraluelo trying to return the favour with a really nice ball in. And Graham Hansen somehow is headed over from 4 yards out. Big chance to put Barcelona in the driving seat.
Just stretching them so effectively. Barcelona, the width from Paraluelo and Hansen. And Bayern just don't know how to deal with it, really, particularly without Ket, who was so good at winning that 1v1 battle. They've just had little joy. Paraluelo's been a lot more direct than Pina was, filling a very similar role to what Brooks was doing last week. And Brooks inverting is just giving them something different to what Pina was as well. So it's working really nicely at the moment for Barcelona. The only problem has been in transition, but Bayern haven't been able to make it click other than the goal. Gallardo. Hansen. Now with Battier. Hansen looks down the line, opts to come inside instead. Here's Sarayordi. Now Leon. Gallardo. Leon. Plays it across to Sarayordi. Trying to play it out wide. And finds Battier. Hansen. Gallardo. Battier. To Leon on the edge, who takes aim. And, well, a rather tame effort in the end, and Marmutovic claims without an issue.
Yeah, not quite what she was looking for, although Dullman's in.
They've gone direct again, Bayern. Here's Dullman. Looking to switch the play, and Paredes will get there. I don't mind that from Dullman. Didn't have much to work with there. Tried to switch the play quickly. Here is Sarayordi. Both sides look tired.
Yeah.
It's been such an intense first 35 minutes here. I think both just want to get to half time.
Yeah. Bayern especially. They need to regroup. You know, Barkler can have a word of his side and come down and have a chat.
A little bit fortunate with the fact Barca haven't scored again, but Hansen's going forward now. Ball across the box is blocked by Balenciaga, but 3 big chances missed for Barcelona in this game. From five created is ridiculous. They've had so many opportunities.
Yeah, they've been ridiculously good. Just incredible. And yeah, the fact they aren't leading by more is a big surprise.
Putellas missed from practically under, right in front of the goal. Hansen was also under the bar when she headed it up and over it. They've had chances to make this much more comprehensive.
Yeah.
Bayern really need to regroup. Leon puts in the box. Putellas heads it on. A bit of a messy exchange. Marmutovic will get there.
Again, that corner's been allowed to bounce in Bayern Munich's penalty area. It's not dealing with that initial ball, which puts you in all kinds of problem. All kinds of trouble as a defensive unit.
Stanway. Viggersdottir. Stanway again. Under pressure from Putellas. And now Gilles. Into Balenciaga. Harder. Buell. And now Tanikawa does well. Harder. Finds Dorman, who plucks it out of the air brilliantly. And now plays it into Buell. On the edge of the box. Plays it across. Look at Stanway. It's just in front of Georgia Stanway, but she will keep it on the field of play. Needs some support. Amani. Forced backwards. Viggersdottir. Stanway again. Knocks it across the left centre half. Vanessa Gilles. Now Buell. Armani. Stanway. Viggersdottir. Dorman. Armani. Here's Gilles. And now Buell. Knocks it wide to Balenciaga. Space here for the cross. She can pull it off. Lifts it in there towards the back post. No one really there. Paraguay doesn't deal though. Here's Dorman. Nice moment for Bayern. In towards Gwyn in the penalty area. Loses the ball. And now Barca could look to break. Bruggs into Paraguay. No, they aren't going to break with much haste. Gallardo. Now with Leon. Another chance there. They just couldn't quite make anything happen with in the end. Switch to the play from Caroline. Graham Hansen finds Paraluelo again, but it's Gwyn who will get there and hooks the ball over her head. Will fall now for Esme Bruggs. Puteas wide into Paraluelo. Back to Leon. Gallardo. Puteas. Back to Gallardo. Puteas again. Now into Paraluelo. Wants to get past Dorman and Gwyn. Clearing it away. Paredes knocks it out for a Bayern throw. And that will allow them to get out of the pitch again.
Yeah, they've done well. Last couple of minutes just to relieve the pressure. You know, they'll be looking at it 6 minutes now till half time. If they can get into the break with the aggregate score only losing by 1 on the aggregate score, then it gives them something to work. It gives them a chance in the second half.
Indeed.
That's why they've done well across the tie just to break it down into just more manageable parts of the game. But now this is a vital part. These next 5 minutes as we approach half time.
Balenciaga looking to switch the play. It's going to fall for Leon, who brings it down. Too ambitious, really, from Stina Balenciaga.
It was just a random punt forwards. They did well to keep possession. She knew no one was going to be there because they'd all drawn across to combine closely on this near side.
Battier bounces one off Puteas. Back now with Alexia Puteas. Battier, Hansen going down the line, searching for Ona Battier. She can get there. Armani blocks it. It's another Barca corner, though.
Yeah, really good from Ali getting back in and stopping the ball across the box from Battier. But yeah, another corner. We know they're dangerous from these. And I think a goal now would put them in control really of the semi-final.
Absolutely, and I think Barcelona will be a little bit frustrated they haven't done that.
Yeah.
Corner now for Barcelona. Ball delivered in on top of the goalkeeper, pushed away well by Catalina Cole. Battier now recycling it. Ball bats around the area. Here is Paraluelo, and now Bruggs, and it falls for Battier, and it's blocked, and it will run right through. Took a deflection, so it will be another Barcelona corner.
Yeah, well dealt with by Marmatovic on the initial corner, and Bayern just about managed to get out to it. Yeah, it does well. Good punch. Would like to get a bit more distance on it, the Bayern goalkeeper, but does well to get that.
Mappy Leon over this. Pushed away well by Marmatovic. Battier. Gallardo. Lifts it through. It's blocked though. And now one back by Bayern, who will look to break. Here's Harder. Into Stanway. It's a little bit behind the English midfielder though. Back to Balenciaga. All the way back to Marmatovic.
Yeah, pass from Harder had to have more on it. just force Stanway to come backwards and then allow Barcelona to get back in. But they're on the ball. That's what matters at this point in the game, or maybe not.
That's one back now, looking for Hansen. Great tackle from Gilles. Brooks. Diallo. Switch of the play into Hansen. And now Brooks. Paredes. This is to be a Barcelona-Lyonnes final. I think it's going to be the highest scoring game ever.
Yeah.
Because neither side have been particularly good defensively. Both are great coming forwards.
Yeah.
Patry. Still going forwards. Lays to Sarayordi. Now Battier. Sarayordi round the corner to Putellas, who loses possession. Tries to bring down Amani. Amani squeezes it into Harder. Harder has Buell in support. She can take it round Paredes. She does. She keeps it in play. Apparently not. Again, there Paredes hasn't played the ball. I don't even think she'd have to field a play there, to be fair. Harder, I think she's a little bit unlucky. Let's have another look.
Impossible.
It's a horrible angle.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Harder's frustration more is that she's having to dodge, to try and get around Paredes, trying to dodge these challenges. That, you know, it's the first one definitely. She did roll out a play, but it's only because she's trying to get past Paredes without being taken out.
Indeed. Bayern with a few players to warm up then, including Amade. Tanakawa does well there to turn out of the tackle. Now switches the play to Balasaga, who knocks it wide, looking for Clara Buell. Buell wins it back. Takes it past Battier. Ball in is blocked by Paredes. And we've got a minute of additional time left in this game. In this half, sorry. As Barca look to break. Putellas.
Brilliant.
Gone back well by Stanway. Putellas all over her though, and does pull her down. That will be a Bayern free kick. I think Putellas will be a little bit lucky not to go into the book for that.
Looks to just get away with one, but all over Georgia Stanway. But more importantly for Bayern, this free kick should mean they can just get into half time only a goal behind. I mean, unless they score it, but Barcelona won't have time to come forwards again in this first half. So it's been a difficult half, but an encouraging end, you feel.
They'll be frustrated to be behind, but I think given the context, the fact that they've conceded so many chances and got away with that, it gives them something to work with. And Barcelona should be hoping that they don't end up in a position where they regret those chances they missed. Stanway ball into the box, cleared away, and we all want to recycle it. But that is half-time here at the Camp Nou. Barcelona 2, Bayern Munich 1 on the day. 3-2 on aggregate then in favour of the home side. Barcelona in the ascendancy as it stands. They scored an early goal through Salma Paralluelo. Bayern immediately hit back though on the counter-attack through Linda Dorman. And 5 minutes later though, Barcelona reinstated their lead. Alexia Putellas lashing home after a mess in the penalty area. And at the break, Barcelona lead by 2-1.
Yeah, deserved lead for Barcelona, dominating the majority of the first half. But more importantly, or most importantly for Bayern Munich, they are still in the contest with 45 minutes to go. They've been up against it here at the Camp Nou, but they've done well to just keep themselves alive in the game. It's been a bit messy at times, but it's been enough so far. But Barcelona, you feel, showing their quality, and if that repeats in the second half, they should be into another Champions League final. But Bayern Munich will want to have another say about that. But yeah, ridiculously fast start from both sides. 3 goals inside 20 minutes, and then slowed down a little bit. But yeah, still a very, very exciting first half.
Yeah, significant improvement from Barcelona and what we watched last weekend. Across every metric, they dominated that first half. And I think, to be fair to Romeo, someone who I've been quite heavily critical of, nailed the changes coming into this game. The width that's been provided through Paralluelo, inverting Esme Brooks, it's given them overloads in the right areas. They've stretched Bayern's defence really effectively, and the home crowd as well has definitely played a part. That's why we've seen Bayern making more mistakes. It's why we've seen Bayern panicking. Ket, of course, not being involved has had an impact too, but I think even with Ket on the pitch, I don't think it would have completely nullified how good Caroline Graham-Hansen has been in this game. But they've done really well to isolate the wide players, and this week they're having a lot more joy than they were in the last game. 16 shots to 4 in favour of Barcelona, 5 shots on target to 1 as well, and 32 touches in the opposition box compared to Bayern's 6. Night and day differences, really. 4 big chances created, Bayern yet to create one. It's just been the clinicality that's let Barcelona down. Why do you think that is?
I think that it's one of those where the carnage for Bayern Munich is giving up a lot of opportunities, but I think it also makes it quite difficult and quite unpredictable for Barcelona. They have missed some big chances, and I think that it happens. It happens to the best players in the world sometimes, and that's what we're seeing. But we have seen some glorious chances missed, and I think that is something they've got to address. It just, I don't know. There's been a couple of them that are easier to score than they are to miss. So it's been bizarre, but potentially just a bit. It's not. I think the panicky nature of the game and the way Bayern have defended can have a bit of a say, and it can leak into Barcelona potentially panicking in certain situations. But I think it's just a simple case. Players are missing chances, and they haven't done too much wrong. I think just, again, it's that composure element that needs to be there for Barcelona, and it's hard to have that when the opposition box is absolute chaos for the majority of the half. But yeah, just a couple of players needed to just be a little bit calmer and find a more reserved shot rather than trying to blast it over or go for power, and maybe just need to just calm it down a little bit and look to just place the shots and worry about keeping it down rather than blasting it past the goalkeeper.
Yeah, for me, it's been a case of, you mentioned there the opportunities are coming in a bit of a haphazard way. They're almost too good to miss. But I think that with the Hansen one, she's right under the bar. I think that's the biggest miss for me. Putellas is one, it's bouncing around. It's a bit of a difficult one. Just slightly misjudges the power and puts it over the bar. But yeah, Hansen probably should have scored. I think there were other chances in there as well for Barcelona. But yeah, overall, they've done really well to create those big opportunities. They've been really threatening in and around the Bayern box. I think the crosses have been a lot better this week. There's a lot of crosses last week. There was quite speculative crosses, and there was a lot less crosses because Hansen just wasn't getting that joy. But she has been affording more space up against Balenciaga. She's been able to put the ball into the box, and she's created a lot more opportunities, obviously with the goal for Paralluelo, but also putting it onto the head of Payora, opportunities like that they just didn't really create in the first leg, and I thought Bayern did a really good job of nullifying the threat of Pina and Hansen in the first leg. In this game, Paralluelo and Hansen have just absolutely run riot, really. Paralluelo coming in's made a big difference. Ket not being able to deal with Hansen has also made a big difference.
Yeah, it's been brilliant from both of them, and I think that it's just another showing of how good, especially Graham Hansen, how good she can be on her day. And it's just, Ket did really well in the first leg, but sometimes Graham Hansen just delivers performances that, when you give her the kind of space to do, she's going to punish you. It's the kind of player she is. And yeah, it's been a brilliant performance from both of them. And I think that it's a case of both of them stepping up individually, but the way they're playing and being more suited to them, and everyone else just helping each other out. Those two playing better, they've got more space to use, but it just lifts everybody. Everyone's up there for Barcelona, and that has been massively, massively important, and they're massively encouraged by that. But yeah, definitely Paralluelo and Graham Hansen have kind of been the catalysts in that, and just every ball in has caused so many problems, and the fact that they haven't managed to turn more of them home is a big surprise.
Yeah, I think the other thing to touch on was one of my biggest criticisms of the first leg for Barca is how static they were. I think for large parts of the game, they got into their structure and nothing really changed, and a lot of the movements and the patterns were very similar. But We've seen a lot more fluidity. We've seen a lot more positional rotations of Barca in this game. We've seen interchangeability, but on the left-hand side between Paraluelo and Bruggs. At times we see Bruggs pulling wide, Paraluelo tucking in. At times we see Paraluelo pulling wide, Bruggs inverting either into midfield or into that attacker midfield spot. And that's been really fluid. The midfield's been a bit more fluid. At times we're seeing Putellas pull up, push forwards and getting into more attacking roles, with Bruggs then sort of tucking into that midfield pivot. And that's getting a lot more out of Putellas. He's in better positions to be involved, and that's why she was in the position to score. You have to have Putellas higher. They didn't do that at all in the first leg, and they weren't getting Putellas in positions to score. She's been a lot better in this game because she's been in higher positions, but in and around the edge of the penalty area, that's where she can really thrive. And they've done that by inverting Bruggs. On the right-hand side, we've seen those rotations, Hansen and Battier. They've done really well between the two of them to create opportunities. And yeah, I think it's been a really well-managed first half from Barcelona, but lacking that clinicality. And that does give Bayern an opportunity, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's left the door open, which will be very frustrating because when you dominate a half in such a fashion, to only be a goal ahead will be very frustrating. And Bayern Munich could come out in the second half, get an early goal, and then shore up defensively and see us through to extra time. So Barcelona will be wary that despite dominating, they haven't managed to put this game to bed yet. And yeah, it does leave the door ajar for Bayern Munich to get themselves back into this game and make it a contest once again. But you feel that the momentum will continue in Barcelona's favour. But who knows? It could change. We could see a reaction from Bayern Munich in the second half, and the game could definitely even out. I thought that it was important for Bayern Munich to respond to Barcelona going ahead so early, but even stronger that Barcelona then responded to being pegged back, because if you allow Bayern Munich to hold it level for longer, then you're going to give them something to work with in the game, and that's what happened last week. Is that it was only 1-0, and the longer the game went on, the more it came towards Bayern Munich. So Barcelona have got to be wary of that. But if they're to dominate the second half in a very similar fashion to the first, then they shouldn't have any problems in seeing this game through and getting to the final.
Yeah, absolutely. Zato also mentioned the tempo there. I agree. I think Barcelona moved the ball a lot quicker. I think, again, that comes from some of the things we mentioned already with how they've been able to... they've a lot more positional rotations, players getting into positions to be able to combine. But I think also the distances between players. If we look at this game, the players are a lot closer in certain areas. We're still seeing some of those longer balls, and Hansen is switching a lot to the back post or switching the play a lot. But players are a lot closer in and around the penalty area to be able to have a bit more joy, which I think has been really important. I think the biggest thing that let them down was how Bayern were able to put a lot of distance between the Barcelona players. That made it difficult for them to combine. It slowed them down. It made it look even more static, and that was a big problem. But they moved the ball very quickly, and Bayern haven't really had an answer. The discipline hasn't been there for Bayern. They haven't been as regimented, I think, in their roles. I obviously think that Franziska Kett not being on the side has been a huge loss, evidently. I think Balasago's really struggled to deal with Hansen. I think Hansen's a magical footballer on her day. We've absolutely seen that today. Well, it could well be her last season at Barcelona, but is bowing out in some style with this game at the very least. So, yeah, it's just been a really enjoyable watch, really, if you're a Barcelona fan. I think Bayern can take solace from the fact that it's 1-0 and the fact that you would look at this second half and think, well, I think they could. I think that they're in with a shot. They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be in with a shot. Barcelona have been by far the better team, but Bayern are still in a position to make something happen. How do they go about that now? How do they go about find that goal? What do they change? What wasn't working in the first half? What do they change?
I think they were looking to try and repeat what happened in the first leg, where they've got to shore up defensively. That's got to be the main aim. Yes, they're trailing by a goal, but they've got to shore up defensively. They're going to concede again, and then they'll be out of the tie. Got to shore up defensively. Got to be more solid. I think that it's very difficult because you can't really. There's not another left back you can put on the pitch. You haven't got someone to match Kett's quality to try and fix that problem. But got to be something more solid defensively. Players have got to stop being dragged apart by because what's happening is one player gets pulled apart and gets out of position, and then everyone else tries to rush around and make up for it, and then it ends up being a mess. They've got to shore up defensively, box defending has got to be smarter. It's absolute carnage in there at the moment.
Yeah.
Someone's got to take that box by the scruff of the neck and just deal with things. Make proper contact with the football, get distance on the clearances, and take the pressure, or at least because at the moment it's unrelentless from Barcelona. Bayern Munich have got to find a way to break that up. So short defensively, that would get them in the game. And then just like last week, one chance. If they get a chance, they've got to take it. Ket took it last week, got himself back on level terms. He went on, finished the game 1-1. If they can shore up defensively and then just get a chance and take it, they've got a good shot at taking us to extra time. But it's going to take a lot to try and keep that Barcelona front line out while also finding a goal themselves. And then even if it does go to extra time, that's another half an hour of trying to hold back the power that Barcelona do possess. It's not impossible. It's going to be difficult, obviously. But if they can just hold on and try and hold up the Barcelona front line, they might be able to get themselves, somewhat back into the game.
I enjoyed unrelentless.
Yes.
The new word you've come up with, a mixture of unrelenting and relentless. But yeah, that one very much was the case. I think, again, we've seen Barcelona get right back to where they should be in this game. But we've also seen Bayern play a lot lower than they did in the first leg. So I think they can't change anything about how Barca are playing, but they can make life more difficult for Barcelona. That they've got to be more precise moving the ball forward. I think there's been a few times now where they've got the ball into forward areas, and yes, Hard has been fouled a number of times already. But some of those passes, some of those combinations just haven't been as clean as they should be. It's been a little bit messy, a little bit scruffy. You've got to be precise because you're not going to get those opportunities. And when you do get those opportunities, you've got to move the ball really well because they've just not taken enough shots in this game. If we look back at that first leg, yes, Bayern only took 7 shots, but 4 on target, and they got into really good positions really quickly. In this game, they've only had 4 shots, but only 1 on target. So they've not been able to create as good opportunities as they were. They're not being as efficient, as effective in the counter-attack, and they've given up too many good opportunities for Barcelona. Barcelona still lack clinicality. From 15 shots, they should have put more than 5 on target. From 4 big chances, they should have scored more than 2 goals. And one of those goals they scored wasn't even a big chance, Putellas one. So, yeah, they should have been a lot more clinical. Bayern have got to take belief from the fact that they are in a position where they can still compete in this game because they shouldn't be. And then they've got to, I think they've got to change the way they're playing a little bit. Got to be more disciplined in defensive areas. Got to calm down. I hope that's the message from Barca. Calm down. You're good enough to be in this position. You don't need to rush everything. You don't need to panic in the penalty area. Just clear the lines, get the ball away, and regroup. Instead, it's this mad scramble to try and get the ball out. They just need someone to be assertive, take control of the moment, call the ball, and clear it away. That's what they need in some of those moments. It's been a little bit confusing, a little bit messy in those kind of moments. It's what led to Putellas' goal, where they just didn't get the ball out. It's what almost led to Esme Brug's goal, where they cleared it into each other. They've got to be better than that in their own penalty box. That simply hasn't been good enough. Yeah, second half then, not far away. I'm just going to do a shameless self-promotion while we're waiting for the second half because we are 3 subscribers away from 9,000. So if you are new and haven't yet hit subscribe, please make sure to do so and get us up to 9K. That would be incredible. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers before the end of the season, before the end of this month. So if you could help us towards that goal, get us to 9K today, that would be incredible. But players re-emerging from the tunnel, then we can get ready for another 45 minutes of Champions League football, Harry.
Yeah, hopefully it delivers. There is 45 minutes has so far in the semi-final stage. Brilliant drama between Lyonnes and Arsenal, and Lyonnes coming through beautifully, late on for Eula Brand. This game, again, first leg was dramatic all the way through, with Barca scoring early, Bayern Munich levelling up, and then the red card for Ket and Barcola. And then into this game, 45 minutes, 3 goals in 21 minutes, but still a very competitive and all to play for going into this last 45. Bayern got to find a way back into it. It's going to be difficult, but let's see if they can pull off another magical feat. Barcelona, though, 45 minutes away from another final and another matchup with Lyonnes.
Indeed. So it is Bayern to get us back underway here at the Camp Nou. What can they make happen in this second half? It's Tanakawa from the middle, waiting for the referee's whistle. Look like she might take a shot immediately here. But no, we'll knock it back. We're back underway in this game. Another 45 minutes of Champions League football awaits. Will Barcelona reach a sixth consecutive final, or have Bayern got an answer on the road? There's only one goal in it still. Can Bayern come back in this second half and pull off the upset? Ball down the line. Buell now looking to get past Battier and cuts it into the box. Dorman's going to get there ahead of Lyonnes. Can she find a teammate here in the box? Lovely footwork. Players on the floor around her, just can't quite find a teammate. Back now to Balenciaga, into Buell on the edge of the area. Now Armani, nice turn, blocked well by Sarayori, out though for a Bayern throw. But Dorman there, I think she has to put that in the box. She's already in the box, but she has to cross it in.
Yeah, she did the right thing. She delayed it initially, and Paredes goes to ground. Once Paredes goes to ground, then put it in. Because she can't block it from there. Just did well to delay initially, but didn't need to hold on to it as long as she did.
I think just didn't see an option in the box, but sometimes you just got to put it in there and hope something comes off. And that's a clumsy offside between Armani and Balenciaga.
Yeah, just didn't get back in after taking the throw and gifting possession back to Barcelona. But if Bayern can get an early goal here, then again they can just drop back to trying to play a defensive game that will see the result through.
Indeed. Battier now to Paredes. Lyonnes. Looks down the line. Finds Paraluelo. Now Putellas. Lyonnes. Putellas. Down the line into Paraluelo. Now Gallardo. Paraluelo, Putellas. Gallardo, flick round the corner from Paraluelo. Putellas can't get there. Cleared away by Gwyn and out for a Barcelona throw.
Brilliant football.
Gallardo lifting it forwards. Paraluelo, Gwyn wins it back. And now Stanway. Clears it up the line. Lyonnes. That was a foul there on Georgia Stanway. Nudged by Paraluelo. Free kick for Bayern.
Yeah, well managed by Bayern Munich. That was much better. That's exactly the kind of defending that they've needed from minute one. Barca were knocking around them, but they remained regimented. Didn't dive in until the right opportunity came. Turn the ball over, and then as they clear it, win a free kick and relieve all the pressure. Much better defending from Bayern.
Balenciaga. Gwyn can't quite win that ball. It's poked out of play by Brooks, and it will be a throw-in now to Bayern. Gil comes over to take, hoping to get a bit of distance on this throw. Launches it up the line. Brooks will get there, heads it down to Putellas. Stanway will win. Now Gil knocking it on. Forwards for Caroline Graham-Hansen, who's dropped in there to receive the ball. Here is Battier. Gallardo. Looking to find Paraluelo out wide and does so. Lovely pass. Here's Putellas. Carrying it down the line. Gwyn will get there. That's out for a Barcelona throw-in. Well, has it gone for a corner there? In fact, I believe it may have.
Yeah. Gwyn does want to get in front of it. Preferably would have liked to have not conceded another corner. Another opportunity for Barcelona to swing this ball in and put Bayern under pressure in their own penalty area. These Graham-Hansen in swingers can cause a lot of problems.
Indeed they can. Hansen over this. Who can she pick out? Delivered in there. Flicked on well by Stanway. Battier now. Gallardo lifting it over the top, looking for a Battier, and now Tanikawa on hand. Smash the ball away. Battier. Paredes. Now Hansen. Next of all wide. And that's a little bit clumsy from Balenciaga. Tried to deal with Hansen out there, just clipping the Norwegian winger, and that will be a free kick for Barcelona in a good position.
Yeah, again, I mean, it's really silly because Graham Hansen is going absolutely nowhere. She's got her back to goal. She's, stuck on the touchline. She's going absolutely nowhere. She just doesn't need to commit the foul, and Balenciaga has struggled in that battle all game.
Yeah, indeed. Free kick now for Barcelona. Hansen and Lyonnes, over this. Lyonnes lifts it in there. Deft ball. It's headed away well by Balenciaga. Putellas tries to keep it alive. Floats it in towards the front post. And Tovic, no issues claiming it. Wants to send the ball long, and Paralelo is blocked at. Which really should be a yellow card. If Tovic should do there is just take it, and let Paralelo be in the way, because then it would have been given as a yellow. Amani carries it forward through to Dorman now, and Dorman's got space to work with, and teammates up in support, holds onto the ball. Amani now overlapping. Dorman comes inside, using the disguise, shifts it, looking for Tanikawa. It's just slightly ahead of her. One back well by Dorman. It's given us a free kick, and I have to say that looks soft to me.
Yeah.
Look clean from Linda Dorman, giving us a Barca free kick. Hansen getting away with one there.
Yeah. Quite soft, and Dorman, we frustrated with her initial pass to Tanikawa. Just needs to take a little bit off it. She's trying to lay it in, she's put a lot on it, but when she's trying to just lay it in front of her so she can run onto it and hit it. Romeu calling players back to the bench to potentially change his inbound for Barcelona, who just want to try and find a goal to kill this game off.
Here is Paredes. Now, knocked wide well by Leon. Brooks pokes it down the line. Here's Paralelo, cuts it back to Brooks in the penalty area. Amani comes across. And it's... What on earth's been given there? Throwing the other direction.
Yeah.
Oh, the ref pointed. It looked like she was pointing at the goalkeeper. Gallardo lifting it over the top. Putellas in the box. Can she square the ball? It's across the face of the goal there. Now Batier's effort blocked by Buell. Paredes, though, stopping hard against the ball, heading out of play. Throw in for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, just about dealt with by Buell, who mishit her first clearance but did well to block the second effort. Yeah, looks to be... I don't know who he... There's definitely a callback. Bonmati has been sent out to warm up as well now.
Yeah. Nora says, is Alexia Putellas' future sorted yet? Is she staying put or going or being let go? It's not confirmed yet, but I think the problem for Putellas is she's just too expensive for how old she is, and Barca are the only club that are going to pay her that ridiculous amount of money, or London City. That's why they're the only club that's been linked with her. Because none of the top WSL sides are going to pay that for a 32-year-old, right? Is she 32 now?
I think so.
Yeah, 32. So none of the top sides are going to pay her wages. And she would never go to like Lyon. So it'd only be someone like a PSG if they were forking out a lot of money, or London City. Shot now, and it's a chance of Barcelona. Extend their advantage. Play down the left-hand side. Paralelo gets it in there. And Eva Payor finds another goal in this tie. And that really should seal it now for Barcelona. They just needed that cushion. Bayern had opportunities. They couldn't take them in this second half. And Barcelona, that really should kill off the tie.
Yeah, massive goal. And that should see them home and dry. It's brilliance. Absolute brilliance again from Payor in the penalty area. Touch of class. Brilliant goal in the first leg. But this one is another really top quality finish. Great ball in from Paralelo. Right on the money. And Payor just gets there ahead of Gilles, who's struggled all game really. And nods it into the far corner. A brilliant little header from Payor. It's too soft from Vanessa Gilles, who has really struggled in this game. and Barcelona should be out of sight now.
Yeah, indeed. Great header that from Payor. Very similar finish to go on the first leg in the way that she was able to dart and obviously this occasion nodded it on last time, flicked it on. Brilliance from Payor, and that should put the game to bed. Pina on for Hansen as well. And Bayern now need to find some inspiration from somewhere, need to galvanise themselves. Balesaga, that's blocked by Paraluelo, who's moved over to the right-hand side now.
Yeah, there's still half an hour left, and Bayern will be frustrated that goals come so early. You know, I said at half time that the main aim would have been just to try and keep themselves in the tie for as long as possible the second half.
Well, back well by Barcelona, ball slipped in behind, and there's a bit of a messy moment in there. The pass was overhit. There's a question here about a foul from Georgia Stanway on Sarayori or vice versa. Frappart trying to dissect the mess, and it will be given the way of Barcelona. Perhaps making a more appealing case. Not much intention there.
No, it's
I don't know what Barcelona complains about. They got the free kick.
Yeah, well, Stanway's on a yellow card. That's the argument, is that she should be gone. But as Frappart's saying, you know, they got the advantage, so it wasn't. She didn't really stop her.
Well, the ball was already played, and then Sarayori runs across her, and they come together. It's not a foul. But yeah. Mim says, you guys think wages are important to Amy with their brand deals? Isn't she basically sorted as long as she's paid decently? Yeah, but if it's a choice between being paid more money and staying at Barcelona or being paid less money and having to leave, she's going to pick Barcelona. The question probably, can Barcelona keep offering those wages? They'll probably offer Putellas a massive contract and lose a lot of players. I mean, they're probably going to lose Onabatier, Mappé Leon. Ball in from Pina. Head up forwards from Brooks, and it's turn time! And that definitely should seal it now. Putellas in the box, touching it home. And there'll be a question around offside in there, but Barcelona have a third today. They are just going to check it, I believe. A huge advantage now for Barcelona. A 3-goal margin, a fourth on the day. They are just checking whether Putellas is in an offside position. Bayern are furious about this one. Let's have another look then. Ball in from Pina. It is nodded on in there, and I think this will be disallowed. Putellas just seems to be in front there, which is why she gets the ball first. Is able to touch it home.
Yeah, I think both of them were pretty tight. I think Brooks looked slightly offside potentially from the initial ball in anyway.
You'd have to think this will be offside.
Yeah. I don't see both of them being on.
Still checking this. You'd think with the automatic system it wouldn't be too long, but yesterday proved otherwise.
Yeah.
I don't think this will stand, unfortunately, for Putellas and any Barcelona fans watching. Frappart still waiting for the video assistant referee to make that decision. How the assistant referee didn't spot that, though, in real time.
But yeah, I mean, Frappart's explaining something to both of the captains here. Which, yeah,
They are still checking.
Again, yes, it's like yesterday's. You know, it's semi-automated system. You should just put, you know, you trigger the technology and then you get your outcome. I'm not really sure what the people in the VAR room are doing. That means these semi-automated ones are taking so long.
Finding a way to give it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, Bayern are going to make a change anyway. Now, Liana Caruso coming on. I think they may be taking off Georgia Stanway because she's on that yellow card.
Would make sense.
And well, if this doesn't stand, it's a lifeline for Bayern. If it does, well, that's probably game over.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to stand.
My goal stands. That looked offside to me, but the video assistant referee deeming that Alexa Putellas an onside position. That is probably it then. Barcelona with a 3-goal advantage on aggregate, a 3-goal advantage in this game. And they should well be home and dry in this tie. Bayern did well to stick with them in the first half. Barca missed too many chances, missed a lot of chances. And ultimately, the second half has just got away from Bayern Munich. A couple of goals at the end to really make this look comprehensive.
Yeah, it was coming. First half was dominant.
And well, here comes Aitana Bonmati.
Really? They really need to do that.
Oh, they're going to, aren't they? It's a Champions League semi-final. There's 60,000 odd people here at the Camp Nou. They've come to see Aitana Bonmati. They're going to get to see Aitana Bonmati. I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Gallardo, Putellas, wide again with Battier. Putellas, now Gallardo, knocks it wide. And Putellas again. This time it is blocked. It falls for Armani, and now here come Bayern Munich. Tanikawa wide with the Clara Buell. Can she find her teammate? Buell going inside and out, tries to play it down the line, just hasn't come together.
No, disappointing that Bayern have just or Barcelona have killed this game off so quickly in the second half. But yeah, it was coming. It was always coming with the way that Barcelona dominated this second leg.
Too open defensively, really, Bayern in this game. Was so well drilled in the first leg. Made life really difficult for the visiting Barcelona. But in this game, it has just been dominant, really, from Barcelona. Bayern without any response. And, well, short of some sort of minor miracle, it will be another Barcelona-Lyonnes final.
Hooray.
No one saw that coming.
No.
What a complete shock. The teams who finished first and second in the league, the two sides who have been to blows so many times over the last few years, will meet again. Barcelona searching for what I believe will be their 4th title.
Yeah.
Lyon looking for their 9th.
Stupid. It's just ridiculous.
Caruso. Into Buell, back to Harder. Now Armani. Offside flag up there on Clara Buell.
Yeah, I mean, Bayern will be keen to make sure this doesn't get out of hand. 4-1 is still pretty damning. So, so it's 5-2 on aggregate, but, they don't want to get this. They'll be very keen to make sure this doesn't get to, stupid numbers. Which aren't stupid by Barcelona's metrics, but for a Champions League semi-final, it would be.
For such good minutes of Bonmati, they need to get a match fit ready for the final. Yeah, I mean, they could probably do that against Levante or Tenerife, given the head-to-head record against Levante is 11-1.
11-1, though.
Yeah.
That one, don't risk it.
14-1 against Tenerife. A couple of draws against Levante as well back in the day. Dorman knocks it down the line. Back now with Leon, who knocks it back all the way to Catalina Cole. Paredes, now Cole. Leon. Plays it forward into Lopez, back to Leon. Cole. Now to Mappy Leon again. Into Brutz. Putellas. Here is Pina. Carrying the ball forwards. Brilliant from Pina. Takes aim now. And, well, comfortable save from Armitovic.
Yeah, tidy from Pina. Just cuts inside nicely. A little bit too central, though, with the shot. And, yeah, Armitovic can just see it home.
Gallardo. Now Putellas. Gallardo. Putellas. Into Leon. Knocks it down the line. Brugts. Lifts it forward. There's one back in there. And here's Amani. Putellas goes in high. I think she'll be booked for that one. She will indeed. Jumped into that challenge. Too high. Too aggressively. Yellow card for Alexia Putellas.
Yeah. Fair punishment, really. Challenging with Amani. And just gets there late. And just catches her.
Yeah.
But Bayern just trying to take the sting out of the game. Well, they'll hope. They'll want to get a goal, at least. Particularly, they'll see the double changes that are going to happen in the next couple of minutes and worry.
Ball sent forwards. When chasing it down, Leon will see it out of play. Will be a Barcelona goal kick.
I don't think they'd have won the game, but if Ket and Barkler hadn't got sent off, I think it would be tighter.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a what if, because I think, based on momentum, I think Bayern would have scored again in the first leg and would have come into this game with a lead. But, yeah, and I think it's made a difference in this game. The opening goal, I think Ket would have dealt with the cross in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, of course, it's a hypothetical situation, but it has had a huge impact. Double change for Barcelona. Lopez on for Paraluelo on the right-hand side. And Aitana Bonmati replaces Sarayorde in midfield. And, well, a standing ovation from the Barcelona supporters as Bonmati enters the fray, returning from injury.
Yeah, massive boost as they look to. I mean, they've already closed out all the domestic trophies, but as they look to thinking ahead of that final now. Big boost to have Bonmati back.
Barcelona coming forwards now. Battier, Lopez, Putellas, now Bonmati. Putellas, Bonmati. Knocks it into Paredes. Perhaps a little rusty. There's Aitana Bonmati. As expected, really, just coming back from injury. 5 months. She's been out injured. But back in time for the business end of the season, which Barcelona I think will be very happy about.
Yeah.
Her last appearance coming back in November.
Nice for her to get the return as well in front of a full Lou camp.
Yeah, it's not, but exactly. It's better to do it now than when they play Levante and win like 4-5, 8-0. Something along those lines. Barcelona throwing on this near side. Brugts carries the ball inside. Falls now for Gallardo. One back by Tanikawa. Now Harder to Armani. Back down the line for Harder. And Bayern looking for what would be a consolation goal at this stage. Harder tries to cut it back. It's blocked. But back in the area, and Catalina Cole claims better from Bayern, but ultimately not finding the end result they wanted.
Yeah, somewhat positive. Coming forwards, trying to make things happen, but just couldn't fashion a shooting opportunity.
Leon into Brugts. Plays it into the middle of the park and loses possession. Gwyn. Now with Vigastotti. Dulman. Caruso. Hard around the corner. One back in there by Esme Brugts. Of course, it must be nice to cruise into the Champions League final and then get the best player in the world back. It's not bad, I reckon.
Yeah, it's ridiculously strong. Especially how close and tense the first leg was. The fact they just turn up in the second leg and you know, it looks so controlled.
Yeah, here's Dorman coming forwards, and now Harder takes aim, and Pernilla Harder has a goal in this game. And well, is it game on? 5-3 on aggregate, 4-2 on the night. Bayern Munich have another goal. Now, it's just been a little bit sloppy for Barcelona. Since Bonmatí's come on, they're treating it a bit like an exhibition. There's a poor pass, I believe, from Aitana Bonmatí. Dorman picked up on it, played it to Harder. Tidy finish.
Game on.
Game on. Well, I guess the one thing you can look at it is that over 2 legs, Barcelona conceded 3 goals, which isn't particularly great.
No.
But ultimately,
good finish from Harder.
They should still get the job done from here.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Shouldn't have any problems, but it's a boost, and they can make a couple changes now.
Well, they've got to go for the game. Tanaka off and Made on. So Harder will drop into the 10. And Made to lead the line.
About to see the greatest comeback in Champions League history.
Here for it. Cole plays it short, and they're getting penned in here. Barcelona managed to play out well, though. Battier clearing her lines. And Vigos Dotte can't quite keep it under her control. It's out for a Barca throw-in. Hardest record in the Champions League this season. 8 goals in 10 matches. It is a travesty she never won the Champions League. Speaking of which, if you haven't yet checked out the video from Friday, where I did a video on exactly that, make sure to check it out after this stream.
I think it puts her 4th now as well on the all-time top goal scorers list for the Champions League.
It's good knowledge. It'll come in handy when we do a TikTok on that.
Yeah.
You need to remember that.
Yes, I will.
Here's Gallardo carrying the ball forwards. Now with Putellas. Bonmatí bounces it back to Gallardo. Lifting out to the right-hand side. Lopez tries to bring it under her control. One back by Balesaga. And now knocked to Clara Buell. Buell looking to switch the play. Here is Gwyn. Dorman. Back to Gwyn. Amani. And now it's with Gilles. Buell. Gwyn. Harder again. And now Dorman looking to switch the play. Can she find Clara Buell? Battier deals. And Cole plays it into Leon, who loses the ball. Here's Dorman breaking into the box. Can she find the pass? Can she score herself? It's blocked by Leon. But it's getting messy here for Barcelona.
Yeah. That was the chance for Dorman. If that goes in.
To shift it.
Yeah.
She's turned it over again out the pitch, though. Dorman's come to life again in this game. Scored the goal earlier. Got the assist for Harder a moment ago. It's the catalyst behind everything positive at the moment. Brooks intercepts that pass in Made. They're trying to force her out. Brilliant from Brooks. Brilliant from Pina. Lovely football. And Barcelona have played out exquisitely. Now to the right-hand side. Lopez feeds it through. It's blocked by Vigos Dotte. Payor pounces on the second ball. Now to the left-hand side. Putellas has Pina for company. Plays it to the Spanish winger, who can shoot, and it's blocked. And Momitovic can claim it.
Brilliant. Just ridiculously good. How they played out of that. Gosh. Like, sometimes you watch sides like Barcelona play football and you just have to just stand there and applaud.
Dorman's got a pass there, though. We haven't enough. That should be 4-3 and game really on. Ball down the line, headed away. It's going to drop for Clara Buell, and you can't quite keep that under her control.
I think she rushed to try to switch over play. I'm not really sure
There's no one over there, so she didn't kick it. And just bounced away from her. She was waiting for Ket, because that's what they were doing in the first leg, was getting to the right side. There was so much space for Ket, but Barca was just not going to give you that same sort of width and same sort of threat, really, going forwards.
Yeah.
Bonmatí, Leon, now with Putellas. Ball in behind, and Momitovic does well. One back by Armani. Dorman Trying to play it in behind. Paredes makes a mess of it. Buell here battling with Battier. Battier gives it away. Here's Clara Buell. Cuts back now. Now takes them on. Takes aim. Blocked by the recovering Paredes.
Bayern Munich have really just sparked to life in this last 5-10 minutes. And I mean, obviously Barcelona have definitely dropped the tempo. But chances are coming for the German side. And yeah, if Dortmund had scored that chance earlier on, a couple of minutes ago, then the margin only be one. They can get a goal in the next 5 minutes, and it's game on.
Squeaky bum time, certainly.
Yeah.
Ball out to the right hand side from Cole. Bonmati. Battier. Clips it down the line. Assertive as Gilles, and she's commits the foul there. I thought it was a bit of half of one. 6-1 after the other. But
yeah,
that's been given against Gilles. She's not happy about it.
She struggled though. Not yeah. I mean, Paolo's got a massive chunk of the shirt.
I don't think Gilles done anything wrong there at all.
Yeah.
Paolo grabs the shirt and then grabs the player.
Yeah, I think across the game, Gilles has struggled. Just been bullied a little bit.
Lopez tries to find Bonmati. Not quite on the same wavelength there. And so Bayern with a throw. Got to move it quickly and get a goal. Gives them something to really fight for. That's what hard. It's now backing to her teammates. Get up there and press.
Yeah.
Gallardo. Now with Paredes. Lopez carrying it forwards. Pokes it down the line. A good tackle from Gilles. Looks like they swapped Gilles and Balenciaga as well now.
Yeah.
No, swapped them back round. Battier with the throw-in to Lopez. Round the corner looking for Bonmati. Harder's going to pick up the ball. Bonmati commits the foul. Dortmund though. Now Armani goes home to the goalkeeper, Marmitovic. It's going to send it long. Dealt with by Paredes, but falls for Harder. Harder now out wide. Here's Quinn. Armani. Into Balenciaga, option down the line and finds Clara Buell. Buell. And that's blocked back to Balenciaga. Down the line, looking for Clara Buell. Buell is in here. If she can keep it in touch. Looks like she has. Needing support now, Clara Buell. Cuts back. Here is Caruso. Let's fly off the bar. Dortmund can't quite get there.
Wow.
How on earth have Bayern not found another one in this game? Crashing off the crossbar. Caruso. A great effort. Just doesn't go over the line. That's so unlucky.
Wow.
And brilliant from Lopez to get back in there. But Bayern are really putting on the pressure at the end of this game.
Yeah. They get a goal now. Absolutely game on.
Ball in there. Gilles going to put a shot on target. Big save across goal. And Mardale takes a touch. Corner for Bayern.
This is incredible. Where has this come from? From being so comfortable in the game, Barcelona are suddenly having to make goal-saving blocks, and Catacol forced into a brilliant save. Somehow, Bayern haven't got another one back.
Gilles, physicality against Pina. The shot saved by Catacol. Gilles puts it back across goal. It then falls for Imade. And her shot blocked by Paredes.
Wow.
Caruso's effort a moment ago on the underside of the crossbar. So unlucky.
Wow.
Referee's not happy with something in here, Frappart.
You think one of these should have gone in?
Yeah. Dortmund if she passed it.
Yeah. And a completely different game. But Bayern Munich coming on incredibly strong in the latter stages.
Buell over this. Lifts it in there. Cole comes, doesn't claim it. It's going to fall on the edge of the box, but Lopez will get there. And now looks to carry it forwards. And here is Bonmati. And Bayern committed everything. And Bonmati is in. Can she score? A ton of Bonmati wide. Broke away from the halfway line with acres of space. And just couldn't provide the final finish. Bayern committed everything forwards there. And almost with fatal consequences.
Yeah.
But they won't mind. They didn't concede.
No,
They had to commit for the game.
they got away for it. Got away with it, and it was actually Baleslager at the other end who, for me, had to score. Katakol flattened it and missed it, and Baleslager was the one who just couldn't head the ball towards the goal.
Gwyn carries inside brilliantly. Now shifts it into Gilles, who does look to be playing at left back. Now plays it forward. Buell tries to put it into the box. It takes a deflection. Harder competes. And no one can meet it for Bayern Munich.
Fine margins between Bayern getting back in this game.
Yeah.
Just spinning around. Just how? How have Bayern not at least not got one back? They could have had two in the last 5-10 minutes.
Balesaga flicking it up in the air. Buell nods it on. Imade now can't quite get there. Paredes does enough. And it's back with Cole. He will wait. And then she can pick it up. Zeta says Barca have not been convincing. They're not controlling the game in the way they used to under Geraldes. At all. Duhlman carries the ball forward. Takes it off the crossbar.
Oh my.
Thought that took a touch. Thought that was a save from Catalina Cole. Duhlman's furious because she thinks the same. Was that not parried by Cole? Took a touch off Leon.
Yeah, it's a big touch.
Should have been a corner.
Wow. 2 off the bar.
So many have gone close now for Bayern. You say 2 off the bar. Duhlman should have passed. Gilles straight to the keeper. Imade's blocked by Paredes. That's 5. 5 chances that could have gone in for Bayern in the last 10 minutes.
Incredible.
Gwyn. One back well by Lopez. Bruggs up the line. Looking for Payor. Forced backwards as Bayern have just committed numbers forwards, giving Barca more room when they do come forwards to attack into. Gallardo. Pina loses possession, and that's a soft free kick. Because the Pina made the mistake regardless of the foul.
Yeah. Barcelona reacting with changes.
Aicha Kamada, one of them. Hard to just compete for the ball. Too late.
Needless as well.
Bruggs. Now to Leon. Putellas around the corner. Here's Esme Bruggs, who slips it forwards into Pina. And now a save. A comfortable save from Mamitovic. Got to go quickly again.
Yeah. Nice football.
Lots of words out this game.
I just don't know what to say. Yeah, I don't know where this has come from.
There's so many chances, it's knackered me. Duhlman. Caruso. Had a play by Leon. Throw in for Bayern. Got to keep the pressure on, haven't they?
Yeah. They'll be so frustrated they haven't scored. Because if with the amount of chance they had, they were looking at needing a goal in 10 minutes plus additional time.
Kicking Nazareth and Aicha Kamada. The changes forthcoming then for Barcelona. Not yet, though. Gilles wants this long throw. But Frappart will not let her take liberties with the position. And she's turned the throw over Frappart because Gilles stepped up the line. I mean, it's refereeing by the rules, but it's a bit. A lot of players take lots of liberty. Another member of the coaches has been booked, and it's Wretch. I believe Martina Wretch, the assistant. Is that was on the bench? Not the assistant, sorry, the director of football. Certainly looks like her. Don't know why she's on the bench.
Yeah.
May not be her. Change is coming for Barcelona, and they're going to slow this down. And, well, Putellas is making way with a big hug of Gallardo. So, Brugts and Putellas making way. Kamara and Nazareth.
That's a very emotional reaction.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is a goodbye from Putellas. This is probably the last time she'll play at the Nou Camp this season. Is that goodbye? It's very, very emotional if she's not departing.
It was a change of the armband and a hug to Gallardo and a teary-eyed walk-off. And a little clap up to the fans. I wonder if there may be some substance to rumours that she may be departing. Here is Harder, carrying the ball forwards. Out towards the left-hand side. Buell. Imade. Back towards Buell. Puts it back in the area. Oh, no! Dortmund's got in Harder's way. Got to communicate there. Great chance for Bayern. How have they not scored another in the second half?
I don't know.
This is incredible. Oh, that is horrible. They're both so worried about getting each other's way. They end up both missing it and just taking each other out. Wow.
Caruso. Trying to create space with a cross. Amani. Cleared away by Bonmati. Lovely touch there from Payot to Lopez. Lopez carrying forwards. It's a 4v2 and Barcelona now exploiting Bayern, pushing forwards. A chance now. Can they finish the job? Payot's effort saved and poked wide. And they have had some big chances, Barca, in this second half by virtue of Bayern overcommitting. Really, they had to go for the game.
I'll be honest, I'm stunned that this is only 4-2. It's had the potential to be about 7-5.
Yeah.
I don't know. In so many chances for both teams. Barca had a whole host in the first half. Bayern have had about 10 in the last 15 minutes.
But this is the thing, like Bayern going for it is making them vulnerable, but they were conceding chances by being defensive, so at least now they're getting chances.
Incredible.
Delivery in now towards the near post, one back by Linda Dorman. Ball poked down the line, one back in there by Bonmati, intercepting the pass intended for Clara Buell. Here is Kamara. Pina. Now Kamara. Pina. Lyonnes. Lifted forwards by Paredes. Great knock. Out wide. By Marmutovic. Now it's with Gwyn. Gil. Gwyn again. Caruso. Wants the ball up well, flicking it down the line. Lyonnes now, fitting it straight into the feet of Payot. Nazareth. Gallardo loses possession, and here come Bayern. It was a clean challenge. They've got numbers forward here. Harder. Knocks it wide. Here's Amade. Cuts it back. Harder to score. It's there. Bayern Munich have a goal back in this game. It's a 1-goal margin now between the two sides. Barcelona 4, Bayern 3. That has been coming. Can Bayern find a leveller? That's what they need now. They've had so many chances in this last 20, 30 minutes. And this was too weak from Gallardo.
Yeah, I don't think it's a foul. They'll have a look at it, but I don't think it is. And then Bayern did really ought to work this. And I think it's probably the wrong decision from Amade, but Harder does so well to take the touch and finish.
Her 9th in the Champions League this season. The joint top scorer in the competition at 33.
Ridiculous.
Genuinely world-class footballer. One of the best to ever do it, and a brilliant goal at the end of this game. VAR is going to check it and try and spoil this last 5 minutes.
Come on, we want drama. Give us drama.
They're going to check the foul on Gallardo, and I didn't think there's anything wrong with the challenge. I didn't think it was a foul. It was weak from Gallardo. They're going to the monitor. I didn't think this was a foul at all.
Yeah, I wasn't. It's a strong challenge, but I don't think. Oh, she had...
Rappart took one look, and the decision is no goal. How did she take on one look and decided that? Well, that's killed the last 5 minutes. We won't get any drama, and Barcelona are finalists. So many chances at the end of this game for Bayern, and the one they took, they found a way to disallow it. It's the kind of decision that I expect to be given on field. I didn't think it gets overturned, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like another look back.
So
that was so... gave that so quickly.
I definitely don't think it was as clear-cut as she made it look. Lopez feeds it through the lines. Amane with a good challenge. And well, Bayern really have to push now if they want to get 2 goals.
We wanted the drama. You know, Bayern should have found one in this game. We wanted to see it go all the way.
I don't think it's a foul. It's such a soft foul for a goal to be disallowed that would have given us a fantastic last 5 minutes here.
Yeah, and it's just about... Here we go. We'll get another look here.
It's weak. So weak.
Yeah. I think it's one... Like, if it's given on field, you know, that's fair enough. But I think that one's hard as in here, but the flags go up straight away. Well, it should do, yeah, it does. Yeah, Bayern Munich... I can't believe they haven't scored another in this game. I really can't. How many chances have they had in this second half?
Bayern? Well, 8 shots. 3 on target in the second half. Huge improvement from the 4 and the 1 on target they had in the first. They've had more touch in the opposition box, as many shots as Barcelona.
Yeah.
But where Barcelona kicked on and scored 2, Bayern have only scored 1. They've had so many chances.
Yeah.
A lot they didn't get shots away for.
Yeah.
Ball into the area. Amade feeds it through. Gwen won't quite get that. Bayern have given this one hell of a go.
Yeah. Fair play to them, because the tie looked over. They looked down and out. They've had the chances to turn it around, or at least get us to level up. At least chances to level up on aggregate. I think they'll be very disappointed that they haven't found a way back into this game.
Yeah.
It's one of those semi-finals where, both sides, I think across the 2 legs, both sides have played well enough to go through. Just quality has made the difference. And that ability to just find a way to win.
Yeah. Kevin says the call to the screen almost always seems to lead to a reversal. I think that's the bit where VAR needs some sort of reform. The automatic stuff, fine, check it and tell the referee. I think in a lot of the cases, you almost need a situation where, like, the manager or something can call for a check, and then the referee, without any other referees telling them what to do, goes and watches it back on the monitor. And if they want to talk it through with their assistant referees or something, then they can. And the fourth official.
Yeah.
But I don't think you need it where VAR check it. Some person miles away checks it and then goes, "Oh, this is what you should do," and then you go over check the monitor and don't even have their own opinion.
Yeah, it is very weird how
I've seen it once ever where you've gone to the monitor and it's not then been given.
Yeah,
the other way.
it's so weird how referees obviously you've got your strong making decisions, but as soon as their mate up in the room tells them that they're wrong, they go, "Oh yes, I've got that completely wrong."
Pez Gamer says, "I don't really watch women's football, but 7-1 to 4-3 is very strange." It's a very different Bayern Munich side. I think that was Barcola's 6th game in charge, and he's now had a full season. They definitely understand what to do more.
That is his only loss as Bayern manager. His only loss was that 7-1 game,
and it'll be this as well.
And now this game.
Yeah, remarkable season the Frauen Bundesliga, and to do that with, almost all their central midfielders have got injured at some point this season. But particularly Lena Erberdorf, one of the best midfielders in the world, missing all season with an ACL injury. It's been incredible, to be fair to Barcola. I doubted him after the first few matches. And obviously Bayern were left in a tough situation after Alexander Strauss left to join Angel City. But he's done the job. That is full time here at the Camp Nou. Barcelona are finalists once again. Just simply overwhelmed Bayern in attacking areas. And while Bayern had chances late in this game, which they couldn't take, ultimately, Barcelona find a way. A 6th consecutive Champions League final. A ridiculous run in this competition. Finalists last year, they lost to Arsenal 1-0 in that game. Can they go one step further this time round? Can Pere Romeu win his first Champions League title? As they face OL Lyonnes. What a game that's going to be on the 23rd of May, Harry. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, credit to Barcelona. What a performance. Absolutely brilliant. And the serial winners find a way. Once again, the big stars stepping up in when it matters. Putellas Payot delivering absolute brilliance from Barcelona. But massive credit to Bayern Munich, because what a show they put on across the two legs. 4-2 here, 1-1 at home. They had so many chances in that second half to close that deficit even further. And when you consider that Barcelona, they beat Real Madrid 12-2 on aggregate in the quarterfinals, 5-3 against such an imperious side in Barcelona is nothing to be disappointed in. Only a 2-goal margin in the end, and that one disallowed at the end there, and it would have been 1. So massive credit to Bayern Munich. They played their part in an incredible semi-final across the two legs, but at the end of the day, Barcelona's quality shining through, and yeah, they are back in the Champions League final.
Absolutely, the two most decorated sides, two of the most decorated sides, the most decorated in Lyon and one of the most decorated in Barcelona, in the final once again. It's going to be brilliant. But a word on Bayern, and to be fair, the Wolfsburg as well, the German clubs are back competitive, and that is what we want to see. It's great to see them both back at the sharp end. Obviously, last season, the season before, we haven't really seen them right up there. Great to see them back in that position. And long may it continue. The Champions League quarterfinals and semi-finals have all been brilliant. And the only letdown has really been the officiating.
Yeah.
The quality on the pitch has been fantastic. If only the officiating and VAR didn't have to keep messing things up, we would have some truly fascinating games. But been incredible. Can't wait to the final on the 23rd of May. Make sure to join us here. We'll of course be live for that, as we have been live for every stage of this Champions League so far. We've got a lot more to come though this week and in the weeks before that final though. This midweek we've got more Arsenal, which is good if you're an Arsenal fan, and we're back with the women's FA Cup semi-finals next weekend, to look out for that. Then, of course, WSL final day. Then it's Champions League final weekend and the WSL playoff on the same day. And then we finish with the Women's FA Cup final. 4 weeks of football coming your way. 4 action-packed weeks, Harry. We're ending the season with a bang.
Yeah, exactly that. It's the business end of the season. It's the exciting part of the season now as all the trophies get claimed. And, silverware is... the matches, finals, they're always brilliant. I expect them to deliver both on the European and the domestic stage. So, some brilliant football matches lined up in the next month.
Absolutely. And if you haven't yet subscribed, we are on the road to 10K, 1,000 subscribers in a month. Can we do it? Well, let's find out. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to help us towards that goal. We'll be back on Tuesday with analysis of yesterday's game between Arsenal and OL Lyonnes. How OL Lyonnes turned that game around. And then we're back, of course, in the midweek with live streams. Back at the weekend with live streams. Lots to look out for. That, though, is everything for us today. Thank you guys very much for watching. And we'll see you next time.